Stitchin'. This is Melanie. Our stitch this week is going to be the moss stitch. I worked up a sample here for our cowl. You can see I'm working this in 3 colors. I'm changing every row. And this is using a variegated yarn. Moss stitch is most popular for color pulling. You can see it starts to make that plaid stripes here. This is my first time doing it, but most people can make it look better if you give it a couple goes. That's what moss stitch is popular from. So I just wanted to give you a chance to look at those. So let's go ahead and get started with our cowl. You're going to need a 5.5 hook if you are trying to maintain gauge with us, and the size 4 DK yarn. I am using my Caron 1 pound. Today I'm going to be using the light brown for my sample, but this is the Cape Cod, light sage, and the light brown. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that chain of 32 and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I've got my starting chain of 32 and I just wanted to bring this up again. Oops, I pulled some out there. If you're wanting to do the plan pulling, it creates that gingham, and I'm going to go ahead and include a link in the description for a video that taught how to do that. Alright, so before we go, we're going to go into the, so we've got our chain of 32, and then we're going to go into the 4th back bump from the hook. And we're going to do a single crochet. And then we're going to chain 1. So this is a very, very easy stitch because all you do is single crochet, chain 1, and then skip a spot down on the bottom. So single crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to skip that bump and go to the next one. Single crochet, skip that, and go to the next one. Sorry, my yarn's being a little bit messy over here. Okay. Skip a bump and then crochet in. Chain 1, skip a space, single crochet. So go ahead and do that all the way to the end, and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, so I've got to the edge of the row, and what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to skip that one and then go into the last stitch. So single chain, or single crochet, I'm sorry. Then we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now, the problem I had when I was trying this stitch is I was overcomplicating it. So we're going to put a single crochet on top of every chain space. So this was our chain space before we turn, before we single crochet, then chain 2. So we're going to go into that space and do a single crochet and then chain 1. And that's what we're going to do the whole rest of the entire piece. So we're going to single crochet and then chain 1. And we're going to find that space from the chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. So as you can see, this is a very easy stitch. It goes very quickly. I've also seen it referred to as, so I call it moss stitch. I've also seen it referred to as linen stitch or granite stitch. And as I said before, it's most popular for people doing that plan pulling. So let me go ahead and finish out this row, and I'll meet you on the other side. We've got to the other side. I've got my single chain, then chain 1. And then I'm going to place a single chain into the space that was created at the beginning when we skipped 4 chains. So we're going to go down into there, single chain, or single crochet, then chain 2 for our turn. And then when we turn, like I said, we're always going to crochet into the space where the chain is made. Never ever crochet in the moss stitch onto the top of the single crochet. Always want to be crocheting into that turning space. So single crochet, then chain 1, and then we're just going to keep repeating that. Now I'm going to pull out my color pooling just to illustrate the edges for you. So you can see here they're not perfectly straight like we're used to, and that's what was the hardest thing for me to do. So what we can see here is that the single crochets are all going to line up, and that's how you know that you're doing it okay. When you're counting rows for our moss stitch, it's going to be a lot easier to count them going diagonally. So you would start here with this red is row 1, this white is row 2. This green is row 3. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. If you try to count up and down, it's a little bit tricky because it does kind of go every other. And it sounds like my baby needs me, so I'll be right back. I've just continued down row 3. So go ahead to the end of your row 3 and let's do this together. I'll wait a second for you to pause and catch up. So we've got our ending single crochet here. You can see that there. And we're going to put our last one on the other side of that. Single crochet in the chain space, right? So we're going to single crochet. And then you can see we've got those, this single crochet is going to be, you know, looking every other like it's on top of that one. Then we're going to chain 2 and turn. And you can see right here, we've got another one there. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip the chain space and go in. And then single crochet, then chain 1. Single crochet and chain 1. I'm sorry, I know I keep a couple of times I keep saying single chain, but I mean single crochet. So single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. Okay. So I'm going to kind of review with you. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 single crochets for each row. And that is because we set it up and then we do the 14 repeats, and that'll give us the 30 stitches that we need for matching up the borders to our other squares. So I hope that that's everything you need. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be posting the next stitch for our crochet along next week, and I'm really enjoying doing this with you and sharing it on our Facebook group, so please join us there. I'll just kind of, in the background here, we've got our ocean wave, our block stitch, the post stitch that I did, floret, the V-stitch that was led by Daisy, our first square. Then we've got the bean stitch. Up here is our zigzag, our V-stitch waffle, the diamond trellis, the Jacob's ladder, the star stitch, and last week's was the granny spike stitch. So those are all of our squares so far. And I'd like to thank you so much. Please check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, and Reddit if you would like to be in a conversation with me. As always, I'll respond to your questions as fast as I can. I am in California to give you an idea of my time zone. And I will see you soon. If anyone asks where I am, just tell them she's stitching.